Today's quite the day, isn't it? I've met someone that may be of use to us. I don't like to view people as useful or not, but sometimes it's a necessary evil. I hope you can understand. You make me so happy, and I just want to protect you, like with everyone else. The underground is all I have. You and them are my family, the damned of this world, and I am there to make them and you have purpose, have a place that you can call home. To that effort, there's something very important I need to tell you. The person who's coming is part of the Heroes Association. But luckily, I don't think they have the heart to do anything wrong. It's funny how I met him. We were just kind of passing by. He was busy taking down a villain. I was busy setting up something. We got to fighting and, well, let me just say, Denki Kaminari, he's got a lot of potential, and he saw it firsthand. The corruption of the Heroes Association. Now this may seem like a broken record to you, and maybe it is. But I'm not here to pick a fight with anyone. But I have an inkling the other side doesn't feel the same. Actually, it's more than that. More information points to them searching for us, maybe even knowing where we are. I've contemplated moving, but it's such a huge move. Nowhere else in the underground can we really survive. There's a lot of things that just cause it to be a perfect storm. Not the least of which being location. If we couldn't get the medicine from the hospital above, we'd run into some pretty deep trouble. Not to mention, the further we move from here, the harder it is to be getting the food. And everyone knows you can't live off of air. You can't live off of dreams either. Otherwise, I'm sure you'd make everything just fine, wouldn't you? Don't worry. All the burns never made it to my brain. I've got more than enough smarts to get us into a good situation. There's only one point at which they could make us fall to our knees. A point where, if they struck there, we'd have no options left. But in order to do that, they'd need to know more than we know about them. That's why Denki's good as a double agent. Look, he found out what the underground is by a very personal reason. That's why I think he won't betray us. Because it'd be too sad for him. Too empty. I just need to specify. Nothing is written in stone. And there's always a chance for that worst case. And if it happens, you take everyone you can. and you run. You hear me? You don't look back. I'll follow after I'm done mopping the floor with them. I'm sorry if it sounds morbid. I try not to let it get to that point. But sometimes, you have to make the hard promises to avoid the harsher truths. And let's face it, if the Heroes Association labels us in a bad way, we can't survive. Not even a little. It'd be suicide. And I'm not going to drag everyone along for that. I won't sugarcoat it. Love, you've made me strong. Stronger than I ever thought I could be. And given me the strength to continue even when it was difficult. But something in the pit of my stomach, it tells me I'm missing something. That there's a lot that's going to go wrong. That something is changing. Maybe I don't understand everything, but what I do, I don't know how to tell you this. But when things go down, just know I'm no idiot. There's not many people that I think could really mess things up. Sometimes it pays to have an idiot, right? The idiot lets all of the things just slide. The simplicity of it makes them quite a pawn. Using people isn't really my style. Never has been, never will. But that doesn't mean it isn't useful to us. As sad as that may be to hear, sometimes using someone can be for their own good. It's sad. Sometimes knowing what's going on in the world can make it seem so grim. But at least my knowing led me to you. I don't want us to be a tragedy. The last thing I want is to ever say goodbye. And that's why I'll make my life the most I can. I'll make it so that death is afraid of me. And that those around me can see past the scars. I believe in you. I know you're trustworthy. I know you're someone worth all the time, all the trust. And I will not take that for granted. Because both I love you and I trust you. Something I've never been able to say in tandem. You're my support. My very own oasis among the desert. Whenever I'm parched, you refresh me. You give me hope in this land of hopelessness. There's a lot of things, a lot of people that just get overlooked here. They don't think they're very much. And I'll admit it, sometimes that attitude of nothingness, of self-deprecation, of the negativity, it gets to me. It makes me wonder if I failed them, if I'm really doing something good in the world. And then I think back to a bad time, a time when I was really weak, A time when I wanted to be strong, just to appease someone else. One of the lowest points of my life. And there, I learned it. Just a bit of control. But not enough. Just a bit of self-respect, but still not enough. I struggled, but I did so that someday I could see myself, no matter how marred or scarred, no matter how many blemishes, no matter how ugly I looked, I could have a shred of respect, a feeling that I myself deserve love. A lot of times, I think back and I wonder, do I really? After everything, can I really deserve that? Something that doesn't feel reserved for me. And yet, I still want to. I still want to love and appreciate myself. I still want to be more than the negativity. And I think expanding my horizons is the only way me or the underground will ever truly recover from their pain, from their agonies, from all their faults, until we can all be perfectly imperfect together. Maybe it's a pipe dream, and I don't frankly care if it is. I'd rather chase after something I believe in, something that's me, than live a life to appease someone that never loved me. Better to live as an explosion than fizzle out like a small match, destined just to fizzle out. Maybe I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. I'm sorry about that. Now, I wanted to tell you something else today, and hopefully take you for something a little nicer. If all goes well, we'll be able to have a little date today. I hope you'll like it, though it's nothing too complicated. Just a date. Nothing. Well, the only thing out of the ordinary. The only thing that I'd say distinguishes it is the fact you get to go with someone as cool as me. Out of all the losers in the world, I'm happy to be your loser. What's that supposed to mean? Getting soft on me, are you? I guess it does suit you. You never seem to me like the type who likes to make the difficult choices. Nor do you seem like the type who could ever turn a blind eye to someone in pain or suffering. Your empathy is partly what drew me to you, as well as how blunt you are, honest to a fault. That's what led you here, and I like to hope that it's my battered heart that keeps on beating, that keeps you here, as well as the underground being not nearly as bad as it's hyped up to be. You know, if I've learned one thing in my short life, it's that the world is all concerned about image. Isn't that ironic? Then that image has no place. It does, but down here, if we could fix our image, maybe we could really change things. Maybe we could get the world to look at us. But I wonder, do you think that's too tall of an order? Do you think I can change the world? I wonder if it's too pretentious, too presumptuous of me. Yet at the same time, I just keep thinking, I have to try, or else I'll never know. And I'll always regret the fact that I never tried. That's been a lot of my life. A series of why not. Because if I don't see how deep the rabbit hole goes, I'll never be able to understand myself. It'll just be a well of information without a purpose, like computing numbers for an endless cycle that just ends up at zero again. I don't want my life to go that way, to just end up at zero again. After all the things that I've done. But you've put a smile on my face, and I want to give back to you so much more than you've done. Because I know you deserve it. Because I feel it in my heart, in my lack of an image. Or worse, my bad image. It's never taken away what I feel for you. If anything, it's given me a new courage, burned away my hesitation, made me into a better person through the suffering, the agony. I can say I've grown. I've become someone who isn't just a name. I've become exactly who I've strived to be, even if there's stumbles along the way. Now that I've met you, I know my place in this world, and I'm no longer afraid. This may come as a surprise to you, but a long time ago, I used to be afraid that if I didn't live up to image, I would die. I'd be killed by someone who I thought should love me. And yet, there I was, trying effortlessly, fruitlessly, and hopelessly to try and reach out to them, to make myself what they wanted to see, to be that son, that prodigal son that they were looking for. Yet it didn't work, and at the time it confused me. But it's so clear now. You can't be whatever anyone wants you to be. You can only ever be what you are. So many people don't realize such a simple thing. It's so easy, isn't it? To see when you actually understand. The world is a simple place. We all just make it so much more complicated. Don't you think? Aren't you glad I'm a simple man? Perhaps not simple enough. If only for the fact that I see all the messed up things way before anyone else seems to. There might be a handful of others cursed with the knowledge, but I don't see them doing anything about it. Like they give a damn about the underdog. Nobody ever seems to. The homeless get walked by, and the underground don't even get a penny. And if they did, it'd be one laced with arsenic. Some kind of double-edged sword they always like to use. I don't know if you've heard about it, but before, a few years back, there was a quote-unquote villain organization that was hailed. People didn't stop them because they were doing something that helped a lot of rich people get richer. They were offering free services, a job to the homeless for experimentation. They got a lot of free subjects, but everyone really knew what they stood for, what they did. After a while, people started disappearing. What was just a slap on the wrist from the government to something that was blatant genocide, targeting people who can't defend themselves. It was around that time I really began the underground. I couldn't take it anymore. Seeing people I love, people on the streets, even if I didn't know them, having to see them go away and never return. Sometimes seeing the aftermath. Forcible. As grotesque as the worst fantasy, but it was reality. It was my reality. And I never wanted suffering for others. People often misunderstand that. I'm not some kind of monster. Not even close. I'm just a man who's weak. A man who's weak to the hearts of others as much as he is weak to himself. I'm okay. But isn't that weakness what makes me so me? If I was all strength, I'd be just like all those others, swallowed by it. No room for a heart or free thoughts. Just being the sum of my parts, instead of having to be creative. In a way, I think it's the best thing that ever happened to me. My illness and my quirk, my failures, they all make me decidedly me. Now, the only question left is why? Why is it we put ourselves in these situations? Why does it always have to be us or them? But I guess there's never really an answer to philosophical things. It's just an infinite cycle of because they are. Or I don't know, but how could I judge that when I'm no different? I treat myself with a double standard. But no, I know I shouldn't, and I'm sorry. You're such a loyal and wonderful person, aren't you? I love you very much. And I feel honored that you love me too. Now, if we could just get to a situation where it doesn't have to be so serious. But for now, it doesn't. For now, won't you take my hand, my love, and join me for a date to remember? You know, for what it's worth, I want you to have this in case anything ever happens to me. I'll give you both my heart and my pardon me. I just wanted to make today about you. So would you mind? I prepared an outfit for you. One that I saw and I just knew it would suit you. Out when I was on a reconnaissance mission of all things. They say don't mix work and play or romance and other things, but I can't get you off my mind. If not for you, I would not be who I am. Or if I was, I'd be a whole lot more sad. And who wants that? As for me, I can't stand it. The idea of living a life for any other reason than because you believe that you can be happy. And I have so much left to give you. My love, I need you to believe in that light at the end of the tunnel. And after all this is done, we'll have so many more beautiful times. We'll have dates every day. Doesn't that sound like fun? We'll be able to smile, and nobody can tell us a damn thing. Isn't that how it should be? I think that's the life I've always wanted. It's the one with the light at the end of the tunnel. The one where I can look in the mirror and not see a monster that needs to be, but instead see a person. See myself, the one I should be loving and appreciating. Don't worry, though the fires burn, they make us tougher, they forge us in the fire. And I think through the end of all this, we'll see each other in a new light. We'll see an end to this chaos and a beginning to a happier time. Do you believe in me, my love? I sincerely hope that I haven't lost your trust in these harsh times. Perhaps there's been too much to it, but I hope that you'll be able to see me as more than just the scary side, or the side that exists because it needs to. I want you to see every side of me, even the ones I'm not proud of. And even if that means I need to try again to show you my love, that this world can be bright and happy too. I believe it, and if I can, so can you. I won't let you despair, and if ever it happens that you fall into that place, I'll rip you from it. I'll tear away all the apprehension and give you nothing but the happiness in wake of it all. You can believe in me. I promise it'll go well. Because today's a pretty fancy date. Something I haven't done in a very long time. I never even considered it, because I thought there would never be someone like you who sees right through me. And I'm glad I was wrong. For each time I thought I was for sure right, I just found out how wrong I was. Did you know it's quite pleasant? Being wrong for a change. Being able to admit I don't know everything about something. You know, a lot of people consider me a genius, but that's a pretty lonely place to be. People always envy it. But what does it really mean at the end of the day, except for that nobody can relate to you? That nobody has any words that you don't already know before they speak them. And with that, I just lament to myself, asking why, and tell you. Perhaps I sound like a canary, ranting off again and again. But it's only because I can't take indecision. I can't let you think for a moment that I've lost the fire since we've met. That will never happen. Never again. And while there may be people that dig daggers into our backs, I swear to you, that truth will never be the case. When it comes to me, I won't let myself ever be someone you can't trust. I've been there, and I've been betrayed by blood. But I won't let you experience the same, whether you have or haven't. The important thing is that it doesn't happen again. For that reason, I must live up to my expectation, and to yours as well. Otherwise, there's no forgiveness that can save me. No redemption that can protect me from the truth of my own inhibition. That I, Dabi, the name I borrowed so long ago, that I'm not me, is something that will never happen. And if I ever should fall to some trick, then kill me. End me. So that you can find true happiness. Forever and ever. Not just the kind that happens in fairy tales, but a very real one. That's what I always wanted for you. Did you know that? I need to give you a sentiment. One of love and appreciation for the fact that I would be alone. I would be too weak to face things as they are. I'd be nothing but a pawn to my own hatred. Did you know I used to be such a hateful person? Until my hate dug me a hole. One that I can never really repay. So instead I try and live up to it. I try and not let it be something that makes me a monster, and instead be a lesson learned. I think the biggest sin anyone can make isn't the sin itself, but not learning from a crucial mistake and hurting others again. That's one thing I can't forgive. At At least not from myself. Remember when I mentioned the double standard? It's something that's pretty gruesome in certain cases. Because the double standard has you answer for things you don't have others answer for. It makes you out to be a monster of indecision. Are you to blame? Of course. But are you really? Is your mind your own? Or is it just a series of numbers? Pardon. This may be too heavy before our date. But I needed you to know, unapologetically, who I am and what I stand for. Even more than before. And I needed you to know all of this because of several things that may come to be. Several horrors that may all come to fruition at once. And if they do, I need you more than ever. I need you to be strong and not afraid to be weak so that you can understand your heart. So that you can be the you, both fierce and scared. Though you can use your fear to drive fear into those that would make you sad. That's another selfish hope of mine. Do you think my hope is well placed? Am I a fool? Or is the world? I said I wouldn't ramble and then I did it again. It's all right. I promise I've said my piece. And for what it's worth, I'm happy. Truly happy. Happy to have met you. Happy to have been a part of your life. And happy to continue existing by your side. I love you. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. And beyond the burning flames in my chest. So, may I hold you close? Thank you. You're like my blanket, did you know that? I used to have one. Like most children. Though how I got it was kind of strange. I got it because at school, when I tried to make friends, there was this one friend. Someone who really understood me. And someone who, beyond a shadow of a doubt, was a friend. Tried and true. But she had to move away. She was so tough. It didn't seem like anything could hurt her. Until one day I heard of her passing. And I realized something important that day. Despite where I may be in life, there's always mortality that we face, that faces us in the mirror. And there's no sense worrying about it. There's no sense letting it own your life. Instead, I choose to use it as a weapon. My own mortality is just a way for me to understand We're human. You, I, and everything that we face. It's human at the end of the day. Because there's no way to sacrifice that humanity. Because it always comes back. You learn that quickly when you experience things firsthand. When you experience the reality that we face. But the important part is that no matter how much time you have, and no matter how much you want it to be this or that, accept it and then fight. Make it into your own destiny. Give yourself hope where no one else has it. Make your mark on the world like I do. Does it sound like I'm preaching? I sincerely hope not. It would make me somewhat sad if it sounds that way. If only because I've never meant it in a single word or even in a paragraph to ever condescend or make anyone feel like they're less. I try very hard to make sure what I do is not simple playwright. There is no act. There is no stage. Unless you consider life itself to be the stage. And if that's the case, it's a method act from my heart, not strings pulled by a puppet master. Something that is often overlooked in life for me is how little time really matters. It's not how much of it you have. It's how much you use and how you use it. So, my love, will you spend some of that precious time with me today in a glorious and fun excursion from here until who knows? I had plans, you see. Plans for something a little more special than you might expect. Something that is a bit more simple, but to the point, sweet, as much as it is special. An incredible piece of my heart. And a place that I used to be. Would you join me in revisiting the happiness, the sorrow, the everything from my past? Will you face it with me? Your pure heart never betrays. And that makes you even more special. Did you know that? There's so few people in the world that would ever make the choices that you have. But I'm glad you did. So glad, actually. There's more to it than that, though. I don't think I'd be alive if not for you. If I'm being honest. There's two reasons for that. Once just because I was going to do something, go out with a bang, for the sake of my people. And it was going to be something where there was no turning back, no chance. But it might have saved everything. And even still, I couldn't do it. Because there was no reason for it. Not since I've met you. Now, enough of the serious business. Would you like to accompany me for our date now? I've got my best suit. I hope you like it. Does it match me? The colors? I try to. And this is one of the few places in all of my past that we can visit freely without a care in the world. Come on, let's go. Does it surprise you that it's such a simple place? Such an aimless existence. Just a ramen shop. A ramen shop owned by a dear friend of mine. One that used to be misunderstood. One that used to make the choices I did. Only our stories have vastly different endings. If my eyes do not deceive me, is that you, Dabi? You seen any others that look as fucked up as me lately?
It is good to see you, old friend. There is so much going on in the world that it pays to have a reunion. And who might this be?
Well, this is my dearly beloved.
You make them sound as though they're long forgotten, deceased.
No, I say that in the old-fashioned kind of way. Got a problem with it?
Not in the slightest. Recently, my daughter, she has been recovering, and I've only had time to do this, as you know. It is not that I dislike cooking. In fact, I love it. I just wish the world would settle down so that I don't need to worry for her anymore. To think, a teacher at UA shooting my daughter. I ought to kill him.
Cool your jets. Unless you want to end up on the #1 wanted list. He's a pretty distinguished person in their little corrupt play of government.
I am painfully aware. But that does not matter. Let's leave business for later. For now, I must serve my guests.
So what would you like? I'm sure there's something on this menu of his.
Oh, yes, there is. I implore you to look at the daily special. I made it with all the love and passion of a father. In fact, Tomura Shigaraki liked it so much that he recommended it to his best friend.
And what do you think? I guess 2 of those. Though I don't exactly get along with Shigaraki.
He's changed recently. I believe he is a good person, at least in theory.
That remains to be seen. I guess second chances are something I gotta get used to around here.
That is true. If not, you'd never get to taste my cooking.
It's still hard for me to believe that you have a daughter and wife. It's a little surprising.
Well, as you know, it's not quite as simple as it seems. You see, my wife...
Look, I don't have time to hear the whole story right now. You can tell me later. Besides, I assume that person peeking around the corner, that's your daughter, right? So half the story's explained, and she is gone.
Ah, Amelia. She still struggles with getting to know others after being wounded. It's been a trying experience for us both. But I'm hoping this ramen shop will aid in healing old wounds.
You've got a big heart, don't you? I always knew you did. Whenever I visited the League of Villains back then, it always struck me as strange that you were ever a villain in the first place. But that's not the point now, is it? The point is that we get these nice ramen specials, right?
Yes, I agree. And pardon my lack of professionalism.
It's fine. I do the same thing sometimes, when I have the luxury to.
And here is your food. I implore you to enjoy it.
Kurogiri, you're not supposed to tell someone. Never mind.
Well then, I'll be off. Enjoy you two.
Now, where were we, love? You need to take the ceremonial first bite, then I'll take the next one. Got it? You want to take it at the same time? Sure. Let's do this. That was amazing. Did you enjoy it too? I truly can't get enough. Sharing a meal with you. Did you enjoy it? I certainly enjoyed sharing it with you. No one in the whole world could make me as excited as you to go eat a bowl of ramen. Now, let's get home. What would a date be without some quality time? Here's hoping that I'm not thinking that, well, I tend to overthink things. But today I just want to cut loose with you. I feel like it's the last chance we'll get in a while. You ever get that feeling of premonition and you just know? Sometimes it happens to me, but I don't let it hang over me like a cloud. I just tame it. Make it into something to fuel me. That's why I took you out other than just wanting to. Here we are. Home sweet room. I know it's not the greatest room ever, but it sure does feel like home now, since you've been sleeping here with me. I've cherished the times when we go to bed. What used to seem like such a chore, difficulty in relaxing, contending with the flames, now seems so easy when I have you in my arms. How do you do it? How do you make me so damn infatuated with you? How do you make me feel like all the pain is just a distant memory? I don't know how. And honestly, it doesn't matter. I'm just happy having you for all of these mysteries we uncover. And through it all, I'll be your man. You can bet on that. Baby, are you sure you're okay with all this? You're not forcing anything, are you? I sure hope you're not. I'd be really mad if you were. Because that's against the rules. I don't do fake. And you shouldn't either. Not with me. Save that for all the extras in life. I want all of you. Unapologetic. I don't give a damn about anything else. Show me a wonderful person right before my eyes. In all their glory, in all their shame, in all their hero or villainy. I don't give a damn about that. What I do is making you lose your mind. You believe me, don't you? When I tell you that will be just fine. Please believe in me. I promise. I wouldn't lie to you. If ever the darkest day comes, we'll make it through together. And if the world impedes us, if there ever comes a time when I'm forced to my knees, know I will make you truly happy. I will find you, no matter how far we are apart. And I'll make sure you can see me in your heart until you can see me with your eyes. I'm not a very complicated individual, but I happen to be quite a complicated monster. And I hope that never takes away from who we are. Together, you and I. I love you. And I always will. But you must have known that. I would have never told you everything I have or gotten you this close if I didn't. So you better believe me. And not be one of those fake loves. But I trust you. I do. And I hope you can trust me too.